Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we'll be reading When Did You Almost Give Up on Weight Loss, and How Did You Manage Not to? And give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss stories. Last Christmas break, I gave myself a 2-week pause from my usual diet and exercise, which was enough to completely erase my desire to return to healthier eating. After dieting for so long, I forgot how good normal food tasted, especially around the holidays, where your house is loaded with treats and countless temptations to binge. Even when I was eating the food at that moment, all I could think about was, how can I go back to the kale chips after remembering how great gingerbread is? I think what brought me back was stepping on the scale and seeing the progress that had taken so much effort to achieve was now non-existent. It was devastating. One thing I would always remember is, I got to that number before, so I can do it again, which really helped my mindset. I would think to myself, I only failed the test. I haven't failed the class. This is a learning experience, and it's okay to not get it the first try. I'm 1/3 the way to my goal 3 months in. I've made excellent progress, strong trend downward, and data charted beautifully, and thinking about the next 6 months to hit my goal is painful. I'm fighting daily with my need to rationalize eating more. I could eat twice as much at this meal and still be 500 calories below my maintenance. I can take a break for a week, I love the food, and then I could get right back on track. Have a cheat day, you've earned it. And it's true, I could do that. But discipline is how I've succeeded so far, and discipline is how I'll keep succeeding. I don't need to slide down that slippery slope. So to ask when I almost gave up on my weight loss, it's every day. I have to fight this urge every single day. And the truth is, I'll have to keep fighting the urge to give up on weight loss for the rest of my life. The 3 months I just survived were nothing more than baby steps despite how far I've come, and in a way, depriving myself of the pride and celebration of these baby steps is probably the best thing I could do, because nobody will pat me on the back when I maintain my weight loss for 3 months, 2 years, or 10 years. I can't do this for the feelings of victory, for pride, or any other success kid memed value. I have to do this because it's the right thing to do, and sometimes doing the right thing sucks, but it doesn't make it any less right. I did give up several times, but the worst/best part was when my wife had our first baby. Balancing work, a newborn, buying a house, dealing with the butt of a landlord was too much to have the time or motivation to focus on diet. After 6 months, I gained over 15 kilos and felt horrible all the time, but couldn't find it in me to continue. At 27, I developed severe lower back pain due to sitting at my job for 8 to 10 hours a day. And when I couldn't squat with my kid in one arm to reach for his toy since we almost fell, that was the tipping point, pun intended. The next day I ran 3 kilometers, after a few days 5, and now I've signed up for a half marathon that's due in 3 weeks. It's not much of a motivation story to most people, but in my head, 100 different situations played out where I should be physically fit to be able to play with him, help my wife, and so on. That was the moment I've decided to always be in the best shape I can possibly be, and for now, it's going great. But the entire time I was not trying, there was always that voice nagging me to get off my butt. It was just easier not to do anything. It's always easier not to do anything. But what's the point of taking the easy way? Went on a bit of a rant, but weight loss is just much more than the fat that you carry around. It's mental, and that's the hard part. The part that takes years to figure out and to get rid of the weight. During the lockdown, I decided to lose a ton of weight and surprise all my friends and colleagues. I worked hard, I did some elliptical workout, some running, and low-impact cardio. My eating was great on some days, but bad on others. I guess those bad days completely annulled everything else I did. I admit that to myself now, and I didn't lose more than a pound in like 2 months. I was so demotivated that I almost quit everything, but a thought appeared in my head. The only thing that will definitely lead to complete failure is quitting. I don't care if there wasn't that much weight loss, but I feel better and fitter, and I want to feel even more than that. I want to be healthy, and the weight loss will come with creating healthy habits. So I continued. I started occasionally fasting and did some easier exercises, and already lost 5 pounds. Earlier this week, I found it really hard to work out after my rest day and didn't meet a calorie burn goal that I had, 500 active calorie goal. I was also really tempted to eat my stress away from the anxiety I was having over what's going on in my state. What made me stop was realizing that this was the first step in a cycle that I've already lived multiple times. It was a deadly cycle that would end my weight loss journey every time. I would take a break from working out for a couple of days, 3 days, a week, a month. Oh no, I'm back to my starting weight. I give up. I immediately stood up and started jogging in place while playing Monster Hunter. I would squat when my character climbed, jog when she sprinted, and sidestep when she dodged. It made the game a lot of fun, and after I was done gaming for the day, about 2 hours I think, maybe more, I burned close to 800 calories. Find those patterns and break those cycles. Stay strong, narwhals. For me, I almost gave up 3 weeks in. The first 2 weeks, you're super motivated, and after a few weeks, you fall into a good schedule, but the middle is pretty hard. You need to figure out how to create a long-term, sustainable plan. During that time, I tried to still follow my plan, but be a little more lenient. I also didn't weigh myself. I knew that my weight would fluctuate, making the motivation even harder. I used that time to focus on creating a life plan rather than focusing on the weight loss. It is hard, but once you push through it, it gets easier, and you will be so happy that you stuck to it. Not too long ago, about the same time as the quarantine started, before I had finally managed to go to the gym on a regular basis, I had started intermittent fasting and had already lost a good amount of fat and gained some muscle and just felt great. Then quarantine started and my gym closed. From there, it went downhill for a time. I didn't know what to do. I was depressed, so I started eating. For about a month, I binged almost every day and gained so much weight that I was at my starting point again, which made me even more depressed. Then it suddenly clicked. I could not do this to myself anymore. I didn't want to get sick because of my weight. I already have high blood pressure and it could only get worse if I continued like that. So I started intermittent fasting and calorie counting and bought a used cross trainer which I use every day with an optional rest day after 7 days. On Monday, my new workout mat and resistant bands arrive, and then I will start doing some body weight workouts. I also have some kettlebells, but I don't know how to use them. In just 2 weeks, I lost all the weight I had gained back, plus a pound, and I feel so great again. I love it. I love working out. I love feeding my body with healthy stuff. Sometimes I crave pizza, but the feeling disappears fast. Yesterday, something happened that normally would have triggered a panic attack, followed by binging. Well, I still panicked, but then I solved the problem instead of eating my emotions, and then I went to bed. Today, the urge to binge is gone, which I'm really proud of. Recently, actually, in April, my family was ordering pizza quite a lot, and at the time I would have up to 3 pieces. The pizza was a large pepperoni, and I was actually hungry for food, not just bored. And then we had it for leftovers and I only had 2 slices. I gained about 1.5 pounds. No big deal, I thought. And then a couple days go by and we order again, which ends up to more leftovers. Then I gained 2.5 pounds. In 2 weeks, I gained 4 pounds, which totally crushed me. I went from almost under 155 to almost 160. And then I tried to exercise more and eat better, but stayed at 159 for the rest of April. At that point, I was so done with calorie counting and restrictions that I stopped and barely exercised, and just hoped that I could maintain weight. What helped me out of my slump was my younger sister who wanted to work out with me. She was so enthusiastic to be with and try the challenging workouts next to me that I would feel awful to say no, so I exercised with her. And the next day, and the next day. After about 3 days of exercise with her, I weighed myself and I was down to 157 and decided to keep going. Now I'm down to 154. Took me a while, but glad I'm back on track. Very recently, and many times before, maintaining a constant caloric deficit eventually takes a toll on your body. My mood changes, I feel weak, workouts become harder, even your libido drops. I can't go drinking with my friends, and I miss that. So eventually I'd throw in the towel on the diet due to frustration and give myself a week off. Although I stopped dieting, I make sure not to overeat and I've always maintained my weight. That makes me feel less guilty about quitting. It all boils down to motivation. I look at old photos of myself and realize how far I've come. And people compliment me and girls are actually attracted to me now. I look at my 30 waist jeans and feel proud of myself. This is how I channel my motivation to finish what I started. Weight loss is one big mental game, but it's the adversity that you face that should drive you. Use that fear of quitting to propel you. It's okay to fall off the wagon. All that matters is how you get back on it. And that brings us to the featured narwhals of the day from our subreddit. Our subreddit is a place to share pictures, ask questions, and get support on your weight loss journey. To join, just open the description below and click the top link. Click Use App, install the Reddit app, create an account, and then click Join once you're at our subreddit. We'd love to have you join us on the subreddit. Once again, the link is below. Psychology Stud says, update from some weeks ago. Starting weight was 315 pounds, October 2019, 305 pounds, and picture on the left. Current weight is 224 pounds today, pic on the right. Keto, fasting, weightlifting, cardio, and yoga are all part of my regimen. I hope to compete in grappling, bodybuilding, and powerlifting next year. Not says, I'm not obese anymore. Left pick, I was 85 kilos, 188 pounds, and right pick is 71 kilos, 157 pounds. I'm down 14 kilos, 31 pounds after 9 weeks, and I'm just so happy that I'm not obese anymore. I still have a long way to go. My goal weight is 50 kilo, but I'm just so happy that I wanted to share with you guys. 15 female, 155 centimeters. Crean says, 22 female, 6'1". First pick, I was 245 pounds, and the second, I am 220. Despite tons of plateaus, I am down 50 pounds from my highest weight. Started losing as a New Year's resolution. Stuck to my goals, and for the first time ever, I am excited for summer. Thanks for sharing Future Narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss stories that help you stay on track. Thanks for watching Narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.